Meanwhile, let's get. Okie dokie. Back, everybody, to the Crypto Report. Hope you all are doing well. Happy April. I don't have any April Fool's jokes for you. I think that I don't know. Maybe I should. Should I have an April Fool's joke? Maybe I'll think of one. Michael Faria, shout out to you. Cryo in the chat. BSS. Cleary's Beef in the chat. You got Marty in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, everybody in the chat's talking about the Loaded Lions token, which is still moving on up. And, remain careful on that one, guys. I did a Crowcast where it's a conversation with me, Black Sea, Oscar Ramos about Cronos, and talked about that Lion token. It's getting close to flipping Cronos coin, which is just nuts. Wouldn't make any sense. I'd be absolutely shocked and appalled if it did for CRO. Could it? It could. I doubt it though. So just remain cautious, and I would urge, if you are up on that position, to maybe potentially consider taking profits, but most importantly, do your own research and make your own decisions. Not giving financial advice, but we've watched the memes, guys. We know how they go. They go up for a while, and then we'll have a massive sell-off at some point. They all do. They all will. I don't see why Lion should be any different. But we are seeing the Bitcoin price come up today. We are seeing a little bit of a surge in crypto overall today and getting a boost in total market cap. Is this real? Are we pumping? Are the tariffs are we not selling off on tariffs tomorrow? Well, this is something I want to discuss with you guys because I want you to be very cautious today. Today could be a fake out to the upside. I have my suspicions, and I want to share it with you guys because we've still got a lot of time before we actually see these tariffs kick into effect, as I've been talking to you guys about. And there's still a lot of anxiety in the market that you need to be aware of. I think there's great accumulation zones. If you've been buying these dips, you're already happy with this little pump today. Could we dip lower? We could, we might, we may. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. It's what I've been talking about. I know we're coming up today, so you might be like, well, Crypto Kip, you were wrong. Crypto prices are coming up today. It's going up. It's just going to keep going up. Well, it perhaps could, but I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised. And on a very rare occasion, I even agree with Jim Cramer, saying I can't think of a dumber day to buy stocks than today. Now, if you're DCAing, it's never dumb. I don't know. It's fine. If you're DCAing, you have a long-term hold strategy on the S&P 500, well, then it's fine. But if you're like going to try to buy some stocks to swing trade them, or you're thinking you're buying them now because it's going up in the next week, it could, but it wouldn't make any sense at all. And then you have a lot of people that see this and go, oh, Jim Cramer's bearish, I must be bullish. So you have Batman spazzing out. Let's go, right? Because this is a bullish tweet, right? Maybe. But it's not always perfect. It's not a perfect inverse Cramer. It's not a perfect strategy. So be aware of it, guys. And remain cautious. I think right now, there's great trading opportunities. If you were longing overnight, you would have made some good money. That being said, if you were longing, wow, you have more courage than me. I would not have longed yesterday in any capacity. If anything, I would have been looking at a short. Though I wasn't even doing that yesterday because I did have some fears that something like this could happen. What am I talking about? Well, we had some big liquidations that were liquidated, and then all of a sudden the last 2 days, as we're getting closer and closer to this very bearish event, which is tariffs, you have the liquidations on the shorts increasing 125 million yesterday and 111 million the day before. Not massive liquidations like the longs had in the past week, but still a couple shorts are getting squeezed because people think they're savvy and want to short ahead of tariffs, which is not a bad idea, but there are a lot of people that have a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of smart money out there that knows that people are going to try to capitalize on a nice short position with the tariffs, and we very well could see a crash on the announcement, and then the tariff retaliations from the other countries that are not going to happen tomorrow but the day after. Like I saw an announcement that what country is going to announce their counter tariffs on the day after April 2nd. So April 3rd, we're going to have counter tariffs coming out from some countries. So we've got a lot of news still breaking about tariffs. But anyway, you can make a lot of money trading. You got to be cautious though, and understand there's always somebody with a clever idea. So you got to look for support, look for resistance, look at the macro, and then really be strategic in picking a position or not, knowing when to sit on the sidelines, because there are good times to sit on the sidelines. And at this very moment, I am sitting on the sidelines, but admittedly, looking at the price of Bitcoin coming up today, here is Bitcoin coming back into my range. Which I thought maybe we'd find resistance here. Well, we spiked back up. There you go. Shorts got squeezed. We could easily break back down through this range. We could also maybe find a bullish retest off the bottom of the trend line. Though, since we've kind of invalidated this range, I would expect we bleed back to the downside with any hint of bearish news with these tariffs. And the tariffs are kind of just bearish overall. So as we're kind of on the very short time frame, looking at us kind of getting back above this resistance, I would say, a short might be a little bit better than a long at this point because of the macro, because we are not on this trend line. At the very least, I expect us to come back down to this trend line at 84. Maybe you set like some take profits there, or maybe if you set a short here and it comes down to 84, breaks through 84, maybe you make that as your take profit zone so that you could, at least be a little bit profitable, and maybe you catch a nice short to the downside. Now, why am I talking about shorting Bitcoin? Because you can trade every single side of Bitcoin, up, down, left, right, and be a bull at the same time. I am a bull. I think that a holding strategy for Bitcoin is the most brilliant strategy anybody could have in crypto. I think that trading is also an excellent strategy. So I'm always looking for plays there. And if anything, I'm looking at a potential short opportunity right now on Bitcoin on this pump today, because generally bearish news. Could we pump higher? We could bump higher and kind of pump leading to the actual tariff announcement, and then maybe on tariff announcement crash. Though I would be surprised if this was some kind of extended pump. I think this is more of a short squeeze. I think this is a little bit of a relief rally, but I think the relief, if anything, would be temporary. On the weekly candle, we are getting a bounce back off this $2.6 trillion level, which I love to see. But again, we have this tariff announcement coming up. So I'm cautious, guys, because those weekly candles green right now, this could turn into a red tail like that, and we could easily head back down to the downside when we do actually get this tariff implemented tomorrow, and then counter tariffs later this week. So kind of just breaking down some of the price action. I wanted to talk through some of that for you guys. Again, I hope everybody's doing well out there. 113 of you guys watching today, just 26 folks on YouTube right now, picking up over there. And 87 you guys on X. Give us a repost, give us a tweet. Go ahead and smash the like button if you're watching on YouTube. And leave a comment down below of what your thoughts are. That Batman gif is awesome, Marty. I love that one. Yeah, Marty is with me. The pump before the, a lot of people are, pump before the dump. I think we're kind of on the same page here. Michael Ferria says, I have zero line. Am I wrong? I don't think you're wrong, Michael. You're wrong in that you missed the gains, on it. But, at the end of the day, honestly, I'd rather see people buying Bitcoin than the Lion coin. You might have made more money quickly on the Lion coin, but in the long run, Bitcoin will do you one better, probably. I would be surprised to see, is Lion coin the next Dogecoin? No, certainly not. Certainly not. Did you know that there's only 5,000 active wallets on the Cronos chain? That's a fun fact. It's not that fun, but it's a fact. And it's something that people need to be aware of. It's real. So Right now, oops. There we go. Crypto traders are in a wait and see mode ahead of Trump's Liberation Day. Liberation Day. Let me tell you, these tariffs, they're beautiful, they're brutal. You love them, you hate them, all the above. We're in a wait and see moment ahead of this, Liberation Day is what we're calling it now, apparently. Bitcoin's up a little bit, actually it's above 83. Now it's above 85. So it's up quite a nice bit today for some reason. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to make his Liberation Day tariff announcement on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Well, the details remain undisclosed. Maybe he puts a delay out there again. Maybe he announces some huge tariffs. Maybe we're going to get some counter tariffs. Again, caution. Okay, caution. I'm a bull. The tariffs are the scariest thing that the markets have encountered in a very long time. It's real. This is money problems. That's what it is. It's money problems. Money problems cause fear in the money markets. So, the world's largest cryptocurrency is up. I wanted to talk through some of this, talking about some of the price action. So, he's expected to make several massive announcements of massive tariffs on April 2nd. He's calling it Liberation Day. This imminent unveiling of reciprocal tariffs on U.S. trade partners may cause a chain reaction that could potentially trigger a global trade war. And so it's hard to be buying ahead of a potential global trade war. Now, that being said, it could be the best time ever to buy this dip, maybe. But it's just too risky for me. If you're doing a DCA strategy, who cares? Buy it now, buy it later, buy it today, buy it tomorrow, buy it every day, buy it every hour. I don't care. Bitcoin and your favorite alts that you've done your research on that you think have a bright future or whatever. But if you're again, buying thinking we're going up tomorrow, or you're longing thinking we're going up tomorrow, that's really, really risky right now. There's a mix of sentiment. Some investors believe the impact may be less severe than initially feared. And then there are some that also view it as a buy the dip opportunity. However, many traders are still opting to remain on the sidelines. That's kind of where I sit right now. And I'm not on the side. I mean, I'm in crypto, but until there's a greater clarity, which I understand. Until I were to take a larger position, I want some greater clarity. The market's next move will largely hinge on tone and substance of the actual announcement, which is tomorrow. Breaking news. I didn't get to thank her, but thank you, Miss Crypto Kip. We have brekkie. We got breakfast, guys. Piece of bacon. We got bacon. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Look at that. Causing a mess. I got grease on my desk. Let's eat a piece of bacon. Thumbs up. Thumbs up on the bacon, guys, for sure. So, what we saw post-November was a classic buy the rumor, sell the news narrative. The news was institutional adoption, friendly regulatory environment, pro-crypto president, pump the price up. And that's why we had such a big move up. But now we're kind of getting the profit taking. Now we got a trade war imminent. And this is where we're at, guys. It's tough. It's a tough time. It's a really tough time for crypto. More bullish than ever before, except for these tariffs, which are hopefully going to be short-lived. I think they're going to be short-lived. Or if they're not short-lived and they're tariffs that are going to be moving forward for the United States, hopefully it strengthens the USA and makes, makes the U.S. market. If the U.S. market goes up, then I think that crypto will continue to go up as well. Like, if the S&P 500 is soaring, that'd be great. If we've got good news for the USA, but these tariffs are tough on other countries, and though I might feel bad for other countries, because I have a conscience, if it's good for the USA and it's good for the markets, I think that that's the only thing that would matter for Bitcoin, because I think that everybody kind of I think that everybody kind of looks at the US market and it's like, if that's going well, crypto will be going well. I think that's how it goes. That's my opinion. And you can kind of look at that and you can kind of see, you know, when the S&P 500 goes up, typically you're seeing some strength for Bitcoin. Typically. So everyone expected Trump's pro-crypto stance to spark immediate results, but these policies are going to take time, and these tariffs are also going to take time. But, you know, institutional flows are still picking up. Okay? We've got large holders that are still holding the line. I wanted to share this. Where is the story that I want to share with you? Long-term Bitcoin holders and new large investors are showing resilience, maintaining their positions and providing stability to Bitcoin's price. Definitely impressive how good Bitcoin's holding up. If you think it's not, well, historically, this price action is normal. A 35% crash for Bitcoin from the highs wouldn't be shocking. If we come down to 70K, that's a 34% crash, 35% crash. That'd be normal. And that could happen on this news still. Even though we're pumping today, I still have issuing the warning of potential slip, dip, didgeridoo. Don't you know? Let's look at like what's going on here. What's pumping? So we've got some coins coming up today. We got Sweet coming up. We got Zcash. Wow. Even though it's got rumored potential exchange delisting from Binance. Zcash coming up a little bit today. EOS, you got a couple coins surging today. Quite a few down as well. Not tremendously, but quite a few are a little bit down. And that makes more sense to me than anything right now. Again, potentially looking for some short opportunities. Again, if you guys want to trade, you could use Blowfin. Sign up using our link. You can trade on Blowfin and up to a $5,000 deposit bonus when you do sign up using our link. So check that out if you want to. Okay, so we kind of talked through this article. Crypto traders in wait and see mode. No doubt about that right now. Let's talk about this we already talked about the Jim Cramer thing. I think I agree with him. Kind of. If you're DCAing, again, I don't mind that. I like that. But if you're like day trading or something and you're like buying today thinking that prices are going to go up tomorrow, that's pretty risky thoughts. That being said, I think that's why we're kind of getting a short squeeze today because, everybody thinks they're so smart in shorting the market ahead of this crash with the tariffs. So, we're getting a couple short squeeze today. So it's really, you got to be cautious. There's a lot of savvy traders out there, guys. You got to really be cautious. But this is all that everybody's talking about. U.S. manufacturing shrinks as costs surge on tariff pressure. The manufacturing sector slipped into contraction as suppliers weigh the impact of President Trump's tariff policy. So, he wants to come in here and make the country better and improve the manufacturing and bring manufacturing back to the USA. These are things that he campaigned on. And these are things that he talks about. But with these tariffs, in the short term, at least, maybe in the long term, but in the short term, certainly in the short term, we're seeing the data shift in a little bit of a negative way. Manufacturing shrinking. So these are the impacts that you got to be cautious for. And these are the realities that, tariffs can kind of bring in into the fold. Okay? Businesses rush good into U.S. Foreign trade zones ahead of tariffs. Everybody's getting ready for these tariffs. Everybody's focused on the tariffs. The whole world is paying attention to these tariffs. So you better be ready. Trump tariffs threaten $8.2 billion American dairy exports, right? These are all these fears, okay? So be aware of that. And let's look at the S&P 500, which is, again, Jim Cramer saying, what a dumb day to buy stocks. Well, people are buying them. Here we got a weekly green candle last week. We've got a weekly green candle right now for the S&P 500. It has to be $500. What am I saying? Let's do this. Let's go to the daily candles. We had a daily green candle yesterday and a daily green candle today. Though we kind of did break back below this wick. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the S&P 500 boiled over. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we revisited, the $5,000 range, or maybe 5,200. Maybe we even revisit, 4,800 and kind of get a bounce off these highs back here for the S&P. If that happens, Bitcoin could slip, guys. But that doesn't mean that people aren't still looking forward to the future of crypto. No doubt, people are still looking forward to the future of crypto. MasterCard continuing to get into crypto with this news story today. MasterCard building a blockchain-based platform for Bitcoin and crypto transactions. Eyes expansion into the nascent sector. I don't even know what nascent means. What does that mean? What does that even mean? But MasterCard is looking to tap into the endless possibilities in the digital asset payments while making fiat to crypto and crypto to crypto transactions more seamless. The Executive Vice President of Blockchain and Digital Assets and Products and Partnerships. What a title. MasterCard's Executive Vice President of Blockchain and Digital Asset Products and Partnerships. How do you fit that on a business card? And he's got a long name too. Very long name. Wow. That guy must have like a book for a business card. Revealed that MasterCard aims to build Venmo or Zelle-like crypto payment system and do it via blockchain, which is going to be kind of cool for MasterCard. More people are getting into crypto. For context, the firm has filed over 250 unique patents related to blockchain technology since 2015. So they've been working on this for a long time and has supported 43 crypto startups. MasterCard likes crypto, and MasterCard is in that money business, folks. We did have, well, before I get to this, I wanted to talk about this. In addition to MasterCard paying attention to Bitcoin and crypto, you've got Eric Trump coming out and talking in a very bullish way a lot. Like, a lot of really bullish stories coming out of Eric's mouth. Recently said countries are buying Bitcoin like crazy, coming out on Fox Business and saying Bitcoin is one of the greatest stores of value, immediately liquid, and an unbelievable hedge against real estate. And we know that the Trump family likes real estate a lot. So it's just crazy that we're at a time where the president's sons are just like so bullish on Bitcoin. It's just wild. What a wild time to be alive, guys. It is macro very bullish. Everything's kind of bullish. And even if you don't like, the Trumps, well, everybody's bullish on crypto, okay? It's just what it is. And if you're not, then I don't even know why you'd be watching a crypto channel if you're not bullish on crypto. I guess if you just want to be angry at the crypto people, which some people are. Some people are. But today we did have some altcoins crash. The biggest kind of crash story of the day is the ACT token. Now, this was a very interesting story to me I want to share with you guys. ACT token lost 58% of its value in minutes as altcoins, meme coins tumbled on April 1st, with Binance margin changes triggering major liquidations. Here we have an exchange, Binance, largest exchange in the world. Are they manipulating the price of this thing, or what are they doing? They're changing the game. What happened was, it looks like Binance did a leverage update. So according to data from blockchain analytics tool Look On Chain, Binance's update on leverage and margin tiers on tokens like ACT on April 1st has triggered some massive liquidations amongst whales. So the Binance changed the parameters and liquidated whales. Binance updated leverage and margin tiers on tokens like ACT, and a whale got liquidated for $3.79 million at 0.1877. Is this whale going to get reimbursed for these changes? Or is Binance well within their rights to do something like this? I don't have the exact answer for you in this video, unfortunately. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't sound good. And according to a blog post by Binance, its derivative platform Binance Futures updated the leverage and margin tiers for pairs such as ACT versus Tether. The update affecting existing positions opened before the update, potentially leading to some position expirations. Yeah. So that's kind of crazy, guys. And then they kind of go on about this other story, which I don't really care as much about this Wintermute story. But It's a meme. It doesn't have a ton of liquidity. It was listed by Binance. You guys remember when this one was listed by Binance? It shot up. People got rich on this one. And now that it just got like forced liquidations, which is just wild. And this is not an April Fool's joke. This is real. This really happened. And it's really brutal for that whale. I'm sure that whale is in a lot of anger today, I bet. But it's certainly not a good look for Binance, changing their parameters and liquidating whales. Not the best. Doesn't really incentivize other whales to go do large plays on small tokens like that on their platform, which people like to do. Whales like to play degen games. Crazy that somebody would have $3.5 million in that ACT token, which is a nothing coin. But it's just crazy, guys, that we actually have, Bitcoin at 85K before these tariffs kick in, and these tariffs will kick in. I want to remind you guys this as well. Okay. So regarding the future of crypto, okay, Larry Fink has been speaking out more and more about Bitcoin, and I want you guys to think about this. Larry Fink is a U.S. citizen, okay? And so I'm sure he loves America, all right? But I know what he loves more than America, okay? And he loves business and money. And he wants to be a successful businessman. He wants to be a successful CEO of BlackRock. And he wants to be successful on the international stage. Sure, he's an American, and sure, he likes America. But first and foremost, this man wants to make money for him and for his company. No doubt about it in my mind. That's my opinion. But I think it's a pretty rock solid opinion. In a letter to shareholders, the chairman of the world's largest asset manager warned about the soaring U.S. debt and the possible competition that Bitcoin poses to the U.S. dollar. Larry Fink is bearish on the U.S. dollar and he's bullish on Bitcoin. Are you paying attention? He warned that the U.S. could use its economic edge to Bitcoin if it fails to control its national debt. Now, there's a lot of people complaining about the Department of Government Efficiency. But basically, BlackRock's CEO Larry Fink is like, you got to do something to control your debt. And maybe, I guess, he supports Doge because he's worried about financial ruin for the dollar. The dollar is definitely a big part of his business. But hey, if the dollar is not going to be the next big thing, well, then he's going to focus on the next big thing. And he's going to focus on a way to not only maintain his wealth, but grow it. And if BlackRock is incentivized to focus on Bitcoin instead of the US dollar, a lot of people are, and that's going to be bad for the US. And in the end, I guess, good for Bitcoin, right? Even though, when the S&P 500 is weak or whatever. Actually, when the dollar is weak, the S&P 500 is actually doing fine. That's it. They're kind of counter trading each other. So, while backing decentralized finance token, Larry Fink stressed the need for better digital identity infrastructure to unlock full institutional adoption for crypto. Digital identity infrastructure. Now, hopefully what he means here is like, campaign donations on the blockchain. Who giving the donations? Maybe that's what he means. Figuring out how to tie wallets to entities and things like this. And I think we're going to figure that. We're going to definitely figure that stuff up over time on the institutional side. BlackRock's iShares holds now $50 billion in assets, and its tokenized fund BUIDL, like that, is on track to become the largest on the market. The U.S. has benefited from the dollar serving as the world's reserve currency for decades, but that's not guaranteed to last forever. And if we don't get this spiraling debt balloon under control, we're at a risk. And we're at a risk as Americans to lose value on our dollar compared to Bitcoin, which is why Bitcoin's cool, guys. It's why Bitcoin's pretty darn neat. Okay. Obviously, he's, not anti-digital assets, but let's read this. But two things can be true at the same time. Decentralized finance is extraordinary innovation. It makes market faster, cheaper, more transparent, yet at the same innovation can undermine Americans' economic advantage if investors begin seeing Bitcoin as a safer bet than the dollar. So we got to figure out the dollar. And I wonder if Fink supports tariffs, you know? And then here he goes, every stock, every bond, every fund, every asset can be tokenized. And I think that's the future, you know? The world's going crypto, no doubt about it, guys. Like I said, I think we're coming up today because I think we're getting some short squeeze, so that's pretty neat. We had a red March. Told you guys this could happen because every red February we have a red March. So we got our red March. Now we're in April and we have tariffs coming up. We might have a red April. Maybe we have a red beginning to April and we recover after the tariffs kind of go live and we kind of see the impacts. Maybe the impacts of the tariffs are bad and we get a red April, you know, and maybe we start coming up in May or June. I do think that inevitably at some point, probably at least by June, okay, we're going to see the market come back up. I would guess. That's what I would guess. In a bull market, you know, you're not really seeing 4 months of red in a row. And if we did, I'd be really shocked. I'd be really, really shocked if we saw 4 months of red in a row. We don't really see that in a bull market, and that wouldn't be a good sign. We've got about 200 days left in this bull market or so. And so I'm looking at that and I'm trying to figure out, you know, where we're at right now. And right now we're in the limbo of tariffs. Okay, let's do a little Q&A. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys are doing well today. Right now, let's take a look at this. Right now, we've actually got 42 of you guys watching on YouTube. Only 15 likes. Got to get those likes up. And we've got 110 of you guys watching on X. Views are light lately. People are taking a step back from the market. Subs are low. Not a lot of subscribers lately. Everybody's kind of giving up on crypto at peak fear, which is hilarious. It's sad, actually. You know, I think you buy the fear. I think that's just what you do. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we come down here over the next day or two or a couple weeks, possibly even with these tariffs, but still great buying opportunity. You know, Bitcoin was at 110, now it's at 85. You better at buying Bitcoin at 85 or 110? Of course, you're better at buying at 85. But let's look at this. So where's Crocoin right now? Cronos coin is currently sitting at 2.7 billion. And you've got Crow sitting at a $2.4 billion market cap. You've got the Loaded Lions token almost has a bigger market cap than the Cronos coin. It's almost as big. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense. That tells me that Cronos is undervalued and Loaded Lions token is way overvalued. That's my opinion. If it goes higher, honestly, it's going to make for a lot of laughs at Cronos and a lot of happy people that hold the Lion token. But, you know, I think that if you look at these other major memes that have come up on Cronos, on a pump like this, there's good profit taking opportunities, I think, for like Lion token. Yeah, definitely. It's at the highs. So anybody basically that's in it is in the profit right now, unless you just bought right now. So be a winner. I'm not telling you to, you know, surrender your position if you're so bullish on Loaded Lions, but a $2 billion market cap at a time like this for that meme coin that came out just last month is like wild. It shouldn't flip Cronos, but it might, and it would shock me if it did. Behind you says, I think we've already hit the bottom. Too many people are scared, and the bullish ones are waiting for better prices. This is typically a news event where we bottom before the scary event. Well, I mean, maybe behind you, but also, like, the problem is like, what if, like, these tariff numbers are bigger than we expected, and what if the reciprocal tariffs are huge? Like, are we going to pump through that? Like, it wouldn't make sense for us to pump through that. It really wouldn't make sense. If he, like, abandoned the tariffs, or he comes out in announcements that he made a bunch of agreements with people, that could be bullish. And maybe we were too bearish. But again, I am generally bullish, so just remember that. John 316, blessings to you. How's it going, Scott? What's my view on Hbar's hash fear? Game changer? Not game changer, but good. Good. I like it. I like it, Volpe. Jay Samuels is waiting, has a bag waiting for a crash. Don't mind that. John was late. He was taking a bubble bath. Glad you made it. Daryl Young says, just in time to get rugged tomorrow with tariffs. Love that. If you guys want to trade, you can do some trading on your own. Leverage trading or spot trading on Blowfin. They have really low fees and up to a $5,000 deposit bonus when you sign up using our link. So check it out if you haven't done so already, guys. What about the 5,000 banks that just got accepted into cryptocurrency without being approved by the FDIC? I didn't hear about that. Sounds cool. Late to the show, Chris. Busy at work. That's good. Stay busy. Make that money. Bring it in with that day job so you can quit that day job after you make a ton of money in crypto. But you got to make the money in the day job to fuel your crypto portfolio to then retire from your day job. And I know you can do it. I believe in you. I believe. Oh, yeah. How about that tune right there? Oh, what else is going on, folks? Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, get ready. Get ready, Chris. Let's check out our Bitcoin price right now. Again, our total market cap is getting a nice bounce here, which is cool. But, again, it's too early to call. We got 5 days left in this weekly candle. You got Pepe getting a little bit of a bounce versus BTC. Man, I don't know. I'm thinking of taking a short on Bitcoin, guys. I'm thinking of shorting Bitcoin here. I'm cautious though because we could get a bounce off like 84-ish. Got to think about it. Might do it when we get out of the stream. What else is going on out there? Oh, who we got on Rumble? We have anybody watching us on Rumble? Hey, how you doing over on Rumble? Got 4 people watching. Big audience on Rumble today. Big audience. Shout out to you 4 on Rumble. I think I might be one of the 4. So shout out to you guys, to the 3 of you. Delproof says, I'm feeling like we should sell this pump. I'm feeling like maybe. Not financial advice. I'm curious to see how this week ends with tariffs coming into play tomorrow. Yeah, me too. Chris, let me tell you. Me too. I'm tired of tariffs. I'm tired of bearish sentiments. I'm tired of being slightly bearish in the short term. I want to be a bull. I am a bull. But I'm scared like everybody else with these tariffs. Which could be a good thing for the U.S. in the long run. Could be terrible. I don't know. That's the problem. I don't know. Half people say it's well, most people say it's bad. Even the people that support Trump go like, I don't know. And they're hopeful. Some people are just like, yeah, it's going to be great. And then you have the others. Anybody that doesn't like Trump automatically says these tariffs are the stupidest thing ever, which is just how it all works, right? You hate the guy. You hate everything he does. So that's just how that works. But I want to see the results. I hate the conjecture. I want results. Let me tell you. I want results. I want results, and I want the chicken piccata. I don't want to eat these eggs. So 49-minute stream. BSS. Looking at bonk lately, really thinking about buying. That's not bad. I mean, you know, I need a broader market bounce before I think about some bonk. But I hear where you're coming from, BSS. I hear where you're coming from. That's all I got, guys. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. I'm looking at potential short opportunities ahead of this tariff thing tomorrow. There could be some more short squeezes coming because as soon as you think it's a good time to short, maybe it's time for the shorts to get squeezed. So I might wait for maybe a little more juice to the upside before opening a short. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts right now? I'm bullish on crypto. I'm bullish on cryptocurrency. Though these tariffs are tough. And as the tariff fears continue, Bitcoin dominance probably is going to continue to climb. We're probably going to get a Fed pivot at some point in June. And that is going to be the catalyst for an altcoin season, which probably is going to correspond perfectly timing-wise with potential bullish price action after the tariff fears maybe alleviate. Hopefully the tariffs don't cause more pain in the long run. Hopefully it's like a short-term hiccup. We get some good negotiations out of the way, and then we get rid of some of the tariffs, or maybe some of the tariffs are in place forever, but they don't affect inflation. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm not an economist. I could not possibly tell you what the impact of tariffs are going to be. I could tell you that generally, if I had to guess if it's going to be good or bad for inflation, it's probably going to be bad at first, at least. So leads me to bearish in the short term. That's just what it is. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm staying cautious. I'm still DCAing. I'm definitely trading. If you guys want to trade, sign up for Blofin using our link. How's it going, Juan? How's it going behind you? Behind you says, just depends on if the Fed is to cut rates. That's the results I'm looking for. Yeah, and I think they will. But if these tariffs affect inflation, it could prevent the Fed from doing cuts. And if that's the case, I don't know. That's the opportunity for a bull market cancellation, which I haven't even said out loud yet. Or the more likely thing is just a delay in the bull market, which I think would be probably the most realistic outcome if we had another Fed stall, let's say, on their policy. That's all I have in this one, guys. I'm Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, DCA HODL. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Until next time, do your own research, folks. Love you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, smash a like, smash a like, smash a like. Peace.